This is the 2024 Cadillac Escalade Premium Luxury, and in today's Vehicle Visionary video, I'm going to give you the ultimate tour of this model. Its exterior color is radiant red. It's going to have a parchment interior, and speaking of the interior, not only is it very roomy for driver and passengers, including in the third row area, you'll also find a very roomy and highly configurable cargo area, a very sharp look. And if you are looking for a lot of horsepower and that deep growl of a V8, well, we've got plenty of that for you. And it's under the hood of this particular model, the 6.2-liter V8. So let's dig into this model that I'm taking a look at here at Orr Cadillac in Shreveport, Louisiana. We're enjoying the showroom here because, well, it's rainy and it's cold outside, so we're going to take advantage of the showroom here and give you an in-depth look. Check out the link down in the description of the video if you want to know anything additional about this particular model. Maybe come in and buy it, or anything else that they have here in inventory. And you'll find plenty of LED lighting all over the vehicle. When you look from the front end, you pull up behind somebody at a red light, wherever you may be, they're going to know it's a Cadillac, not only by the classic look of the front grille, a very nice, aggressive, but also balanced with a look of luxury. The Cadillac logo prominently displayed right there in the middle. But when you look at the daytime running lights here, which, by the way, that shimmering effect that you see, while it would be really cool if that was really happening, it's not. That actually is coming from my camera. So a lot of advantages here, however, with all of the LED lighting as far as being able to see very well at night. One thing about what you have here is that it does have a long nose, and with the design and layout here, well, it can be a little bit hard to see because of how long that is. But with all of that lighting up there, that's going to help you out. You also have multiple camera views to really make up the difference where that's concerned. So the lack of really kind of a sloped nose is not an issue where this model is concerned. Now, this is a two-wheel drive model, obviously available in four-wheel drive. Depending on trim level, even all-wheel drive, there is a lot to choose from. And if you're saying to yourself, you know what, Tom, that 6.2-liter V8 under the hood is something I'd like to have, but I want a little more, check out the Escalade V. You'll get plenty. And the side view mirrors are not only going to be power adjustable. When you push the button right here, they're also power folding. Going to have the blind spot monitoring built in. And one more thing I want to show you that I know a lot of you like to know about. Yes, the turn signal indicators are going to be built in. You'll have the body colored portion of the side view mirrors right here. You'll also have a little bit of gloss black, and obviously some of the cameras will be built in there as well. Now, in this particular case on this trim level, we're going to have, instead of the power assist steps, you're going to have the affixed steps. There are options where that's concerned depending on what it is you want. Now, tell me what you think here, as we're going to have chrome all the way around the windows here as far as the trim goes. You do have some gloss black balancing things out here. But what do you think? Is that the right combination, or should it be a little bit different? We will also have the rear roof spoiler back here, your taillights that finish things off that match what we saw on the front end. A very nice look. One thing I really like here is the fact that you do have a clean look here on the rear window, as the rear window wiper is neatly tucked away inside of that rear roof spoiler. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, under the hood is the 6.2-liter V8. In this case, it's a tame 420 horsepower. That's not really tame. 460 pounds-feet of torque, made into a 10-speed automatic transmission. And you might wonder, what is it like to drive? We're not going to be able to do a test drive today just because it's in the showroom here. We don't want to get it all dirty out there on the wet roads. But one thing I'll say about this model definitely gets down the road with absolutely no problem. In fact, when you're in a vehicle that's this large, you can get up to higher speeds than you might intend to. It just doesn't seem like it. It's just part of driving a vehicle that's large and high off the ground. How about MPGs? Let's take a look at what the sticker says. 14 city, 19 highway, 16 combined, and 6.2 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. That's easy to remember because of the 6.2-liter V8 that's under the hood. And one more thing that I know a lot of people like to know about, but you often don't hear about in these car review videos, gas tank size. In this case, it's 24 gallons. And what would the ultimate tour of this Escalade be without a couple of helpful tips? Well, you see the Cadillac logo that is illuminated there under the bumper or onto the ground. And you can either kick or use a motion where you swipe your foot across to open the hands-free liftgate, tailgate, whichever you wish to call that. Now, the tip that I want to focus on here has to do with what happens if you do everything you can to open that door and the power function does not work. Here is what is most likely going to be the problem. Now, if the battery does die on the vehicle, you can still open it manually, but if you're doing what I just did and it doesn't work, you're going to come right here to the upper console. This is what you need to see. You can see that you can open it to full, you can open it to 3/4, or it can be set to off. So come check that area. That's going to likely be where your issue is. And if you want to tow with your Escalade, it will tow up to 7,700 pounds. I'll show you that swiping motion I was talking about earlier as far as how you can open this rear liftgate. How about cargo capacity? 25.5 cubic feet up to 109.1. You'll have a little bit of extra storage space under the floor here. And you'll notice the tire iron right there. Everything you need to change a tire, there is a spare tire located underneath the rear of the vehicle back here. A little bit of peace of mind to help out. And to maximize cargo capacity, first of all, we can lower these rear seats right here, the third row. Now, one thing you'll notice is that you will need to move the middle seats forward just a little bit. Otherwise, those rear seats will get hung up right there in that area. So what I'm going to do is move these back into place. Let's see if I can do that one-handed. And then you can go ahead and maximize cargo capacity by lowering the middle row seats. And you'll notice those go down. Now, there is a difference between the middle row and the third row as far as these controls back here go. You'll have to manually raise the middle row back up, but you can use the power feature right here to raise the seats in the third row back up and into place. You will have to reach up here and put the headrests up manually. You can have the kids do stuff like that just because, well, they're available to do that for you. A lot of space, that's for sure, as far as your cargo capacity goes. And we'll take a closer look into the interior, starting with the back seat area, the passenger area back here. A lot of room, a lot of real estate here on the armrest. A lot of people, when they talk about these armrests, poke like this, kind of like they're trying to see if it's cooked like a steak. Is it well done? Is it medium? What is it? Well, you have to put your arm up there to find out for sure. That's what I do, the armrest test, and it does seem to be very comfortable, more so than what it would have seemed to be when you press down like that. A reasonable sized door bin right here and very easy to get in and out of the interior with the step right there, so that's always a good thing. You do have the handy dandy grab handle right there to make that even easier. And as you can see, there is a panoramic sunroof. The front portion will tilt or slide open. Also the Escalade logo. I don't know how well you can see that. It's saying Escalade right here on the door sill. Now, what makes it nice is that it's very easy to gain access to this rear area, the rear seat area. There's a pass-through right here, but if somebody says, you know what, I don't want to use that, you're going to notice what you have right here. Obviously, as you saw, I think you saw it earlier, I think I showed it, this is how you move the position of the middle seats back and forth. And you can see, I don't know that that's a very practical position over there for that seat, but that's as far forward as it can go and greatly increase leg space for third row passengers. That's what you're going to do with this to move that back and forth. But you'll see this one says ×2. So we're going to do that one time. We're going to do that a second time and it will, there we go. If you pull up all the way on it, it will move completely out of the way. I like that. That makes it very easy to gain access to this third row. And just for grins and giggles, I've pushed the seat all the way back on the right-hand side here so you can see how much leg space I have. It actually isn't that bad. There's quite a bit of room back here. But if we move over here all the way to the left-hand side, goodness, there is plenty here. And with the pass-through right here, well, you can stretch at least one leg out. That's helpful. A couple of cup holders back here as well, and as you can see, a USB port. Everybody has their own air conditioning vent. And if you are curious to see what the panoramic sunroof looks like from this point, there you go. Now, one more thing I wanted to show you here. In fact, there's a couple of options for this. If you wanted to pull on the release right here, you'd pull on that, and that will allow you to get the seat up and out of the way. Or you can also push on that, hold it one time, do it a second time, and the seat once again easily gets up and out of the way. And here on the rear of the center console, the command center for controlling everything to do with the air conditioning system, with a third zone of climate control back here in the rear, dual zone in the front, single zone here in the rear, and the cup holders neatly hidden away within the drawer right here. And you can see all of the different connectivity options down here. So a good bit going on where that's concerned. And the entertainment system, the screens here that are mounted into the headrests, that makes things super simple for keeping the kids and maybe even the adults occupied when you're driving around town or out on the long road trip. You can see what all is here. So quite a bit going on where that's concerned. Obviously can use earphones, different settings that can be gone through. Quite a bit going on here where that's concerned. So very simple to use, very simple to operate, and to turn that screen off, that's all you have to do. Now, one thing I did want to point out here is that there is a shade right here that will draw forward. Maybe it's getting too hot, too much sunlight on a warm day shining into the interior here for your passengers. Well, there's a solution for that in case you were curious. And how about tire and wheel size? Normally I've given that to you by this point in the video, right? Well, let's take care of that. We're looking at 275 on our width, a 50 series sidewall, wrapped around the 22-inch wheels. So if you were going to come in and buy this particular model, what's the price? On the sticker, you'll find $98,510. Let's see what else you get for that particular price. We'll start here with the passenger side front door, comfortable armrest. The biggest difference you're going to find here compared to the rear doors is going to be a larger door bin. For those of you who have a door bin snob in your life, they're going to have to call shotgun or maybe grab the remote. That might be the key. Speaking of that, no pun intended by the way, here is your remote. You can see everything that you have here. You can open and close that power rear lift gate. You have remote start and obviously lock and unlock. Very easy to deal with. Again, the Cadillac Escalade, or the Escalade logo, I should say, here on the door sill. Maybe kind of hard to see through the lens of my camera, but you'll find power adjustable seats for the driver and the passenger. And here for the front seat, one thing that's different from the other two rows is going to be found right here, which is going to be the built-in speakers into the headrest. Also a little bit of space here on the side of the center console, actually a reasonable amount there. There is also a 12-volt power outlet, and we'll hop on inside and take a look at what we have as far as the door panel goes. A little bit beyond what we already saw. You can see that you have heated and ventilated seats as well, so that's a good thing on both sides. Obviously, if you have it here on the passenger side, you'll have it on the driver's side as well. Plenty of space within the glove box. And we're going to have a couple of USB options here, a little bit of storage space. You got your cup holders right there. And if you want to hide all of that away, well, there's how you do that. Neat and clean look. And then where's your wireless charging pad? It's this area right here. And a very nice and large center console, doubles as an armrest, at least the lid does, for the driver and passenger. Up here, a couple more places as far as connectivity goes. You're going to have the 12-volt and the two USB options right there. Now this section is removable. Still more space down there within the center console. Quite a bit going on where that goes. Now, I do want to give you a little bit better look here at the upper console. I know I showed that earlier, but our focus was that switch right there in the middle, the dial for controlling the power lift gate back there, but you can see what else is here because I know a lot of you like to know. Okay, and we'll take a quick look at the driver's side door. Obviously, you'll have a few more controls and switches here, everything for your power adjustable side view mirrors, and I showed you earlier that you can come here and hit that button to fold them in if you want to. You do have a seat memory as well. A couple of different settings here for the driver, and obviously everything else here will be the same. Beyond that, as far as what we saw on the passenger side, you do have a tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. It is power adjustable. That's where the control is right there. As far as that goes, there's your power parking brake, and we'll hop on inside and take a look at the technology here. Quite a bit going on where this model is concerned. Now you will find your steering wheel mounted controls here, everything pretty easy to deal with. And you notice this. Well, that's one thing that's going to tell you that you have Super Cruise. What exactly is Super Cruise? That's going to be semi-autonomous driving, where on the roads that have markings on both sides, you're going to have a lot better results. But I have found that even some roads without that on both sides, that Super Cruise will work. It's just kind of spotty at times, but it will drive the vehicle for you for the most part. It'll even use the blinker for you. This lever right here, it's a better driver than some of you are out there, at least in Shreveport, Louisiana, because when you need to change lanes, it does it for you. It turns on the blinker, all that good stuff. You can set everything yourself. So real quick, since we're in the showroom here, I'm not going to start this up for very long, but I just wanted to show you a few things here. Here is your dashboard. You can configure that in a few different ways. There's a lot going on here as far as what you can do as far as this model goes. A very nice vehicle, easy to drive, fun to drive, that's for sure. And let me turn off the radio right there so we don't have too much going on where that is concerned. But you can see what's going on here with the very nice and very high-tech look of the dashboard. And even over here on the left-hand side, you have a few different things you can go through as far as different information goes. And you'll notice down here you didn't have the controls for the head-up display. Well, that's because you can control that right here. It is there. In fact, here, let's do this so you can actually see that. I don't know how well you can actually see it because we have everything set up for, or it's not bright enough. Let's see if I can increase that. Well, it's not working too well, but it is there. I mean, we just need to adjust the height, but we're not going to spend a lot of time on that. One of those things I just won't be able to show you today, but it is there one way or another. You can see what's here on the screen. Very easy to use. Wireless connectivity for your cell phone. All of that is here. You have your multi-view cameras as well. Depending on what you want to see, you can go in a lot of different areas of the vehicle information. So much going on here. I could do a full video on this by itself. And just a real quick look at our different views with the camera. You can see you have multiple views, overhead as well, side views. It's all here. But you can also see that you have the rear view camera mirror right there. That's very helpful in a multitude of ways. And all the controls for your air conditioner right here. The dual zone in the front, single zone in the rear, and obviously the shifter right there. Now you can also go through a lot of information on the screen. If you're like Monk and you want to use the dial right here, guess what? You can do that. You don't have to use the touch screen. So depending on what you want to do and what you want to see, well, you can go through all of that with everything right here with the controls, with the dial. It's all there. Very simple to use, but a very high-tech setup within the interior. It really makes you feel like you're kind of living in the future. All right, guys, tell me what you think about the 2024 Cadillac Escalade Premium Luxury. A lot going on here. This definitely has a lot of features and a lot of functionality. If you plan to buy an Escalade for 2024, tell me what trim level you're looking for. Tell me how you plan to spec it out. I'm curious to know. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends here at Cadillac in Shreveport, Louisiana for loaning me this model for the day, and a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. And if you haven't subscribed to the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel just yet, please consider doing so. That way you don't miss any future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.